Hello Markham Gardens family, Daniel Markham here with the Markham Gardens. You might be wondering, why am I sitting in my truck starting the video? And the reason why is because today we went and picked up cattle panels. However, I do not have a trailer yet. And so as you can see here, sometimes you have to improvise a little bit, maybe use a little bit of southern ingenuity. So me and Tucker, yeah, you Tucker. We went and got cattle panels today. Let me show you guys real quick. Basically, there's a strap that goes through here, hanging all over my head while I'm driving. And you can see right out of our windshield, we've got cattle panel hanging up over the top. And guys, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. So you can see I went ahead and put some blankets down on top. Now, guys, where there's a will, there's a way. If you don't have a trailer, but you've got a small little pickup truck, I went ahead and laid some blankets down, strapped it to the underside, laid some blankets down on the contact points, and you can see we got it hanging off the back with a strap back here, guys. But I basically could do 4 cattle panels. I tried to put 8 of them on here and it was too heavy. It was gonna start crushing in the top of the cab. So I thought, well, I don't wanna ruin my truck doing this, but anyway, I thought I'd show you guys the southern ingenuity way that I'm getting these cattle panels here to the garden so that we can start the top of this greenhouse. But today is the day, guys. We are going to be putting this top on this greenhouse, and I am so excited to get it started. I'm going to allow you guys the entertainment of watching me struggle trying to get this thing off the truck and up on this. So I wanted to show you guys real quick what I'm using to attach these cattle panels to the tops of the wood. And basically it's these right here. It's just these little U fencing staples. And we're gonna put the wire right on the very, very top and center of that 2x4. And then I'm gonna turn these just slightly sideways on there just so they go over the top of them, and then hammer them down in. And that's how we're gonna hold the top of these on. So I wanted to show you guys real quick what it is that I'm doing with these staples, just so that you understand on the top of what's going on. Let me flip you around here so you can see. So here's the top of this wire, and basically what I've done is I've laid it around flat. Once we've secured this side of it, guys, we can go ahead and stand the whole thing up. But what I've done is I'm taking these staples here, I'm laying this flat in the center, and then I am running these staples into the top of this wood. I'm gonna end up putting one in each one of these panel pieces. The easiest way to do it was to put one here, and then start working my way down. But anyway, I'm gonna continue this, and then we'll go to the other side. I'll let you guys watch me on the struggle bus trying to stand it up. So this should be fairly entertaining. So I did run into a little bit of a snag, guys, but I've got a fix for it. I've got a grinder, and I'm gonna go ahead and grind these off, but let me show you. So I went to go stand this thing up, and for some reason, I couldn't get it to straighten up. You can see it just wants to look like this. And I figured out why, because when it started to rotate, these little tabs are actually pressing into the wood instead of just rotating beautifully around the corner. So I'm gonna have to grind off these tabs to make this work. All right, guys, so I went ahead and got out the cutoff grinder my grinder with a cutoff blade on it. Went ahead and cut these off. You can see I cut the tabs off there. And as soon as I got the tabs cut off, that sucker stood right back up. So looks like I'm gonna have to cut the tabs off on all of these to make sure that they do fit correctly. So let's go ahead and get that done. Son of a... It's happening! So when you initially lay this panel up here, guys, make sure that you're setting it against your other one here. Line it right up against your other one. That way you make sure that you don't have any large gaps. Later on, we're gonna come in and we're gonna attach all of these all the way around the whole top to make sure that it's nice and tight together and that everything stays nice and square. But when you initially put your staple in, make sure that these are sitting right next to each other so it's nice and tight on both sides. Just to let you guys know, I have also found all of these staples. Let me show you one that's normal here. I don't know if you can see this, but all of these staples are fairly wide. I'll zoom in on that just so you guys can see. And basically, the wider they are, I don't need them that wide. The wire is only, you know, about half of that width. So what I've been doing is I've been taking all of them and basically hammering them together to where they're a lot more narrow. That also gives you a better chance of not splitting out the sides of your 2x4, since your 2x4 is only about this wide anyway. So just something I just figured out. It'll make it a little bit easier for you guys. Well, we've got 2 of them up so far, guys. I think we're going to end up with 8 total to get this all done. Now you can see that there does look to be a little bit of an offset, guys. It's just because one of them's leaning a little bit that way, the other one's leaning a little bit towards us. So once we tie those together all the way across the whole thing, it'll be perfectly straight. Guys, it really is incredibly rigid. You know, when you think about putting these 16-foot panels up there, you know, part of the thought process is that because it's 16 feet, it's going to be real wobbly and flimsy and everything else. But I'm telling you, once you run them over an arch like this, and then you start linking them together, guys, it's incredibly rigid. You're going to hold a lot of weight up there. I've actually seen some people that live up north that have snow on the top of these things. And granted, it's not going to hold, you know, 5-6 feet of snow on top of it. But I've seen 2 to 3 feet of snow and it's still standing upright, no problems, as long as your walls are not too far apart. So the wider apart your walls go, the less force you're going to have on the top that it can handle. So, but guys, these are super rigid. This design is, I'm really impressed with it. So. All right, guys, so far we have got 4 of these up, and I mean, they're pretty awesome. This is quite a bit of room, definitely quite a bit of height for some mango trees in here. Totally looking forward to that. But we've got the 4 done so far that I was able to pick up with the truck. I'll have to go pick up another 4 of them. But I wanted to show you guys real quick what we're going to attach these together with. So all the way around the top of these, I could either use wire, which I've got basically a baling wire, or what they call a masonry or a plumbing tie wire type stuff. But that will rust over time if we've got condensation that's building up in here. And what I've used in the past has been these zip ties. Now, there's a couple differences here, guys. So you see these zip ties, these are black zip ties. Black zip ties are UV rated. These will last for a long time. The sun can shine on these things. We used these in Phoenix, Arizona, out in the full sun. And I'll tell you, the whole time we were there, since the time I put them in there was about 5 years. I installed them and we moved out 5 years later, and these were still holding strong in Arizona sun for 5 years. So, however, when I first started using zip ties, I tried to use the white ones or the colored ones. Those are not UV rated, guys. They will not last. The white ones lasted maybe 6 months. So if you're going to use zip ties, or you're going to use something like this, make sure you're using something that's UV rated. And if you are using zip ties, use the black ones, guys. The black ones will last you a long time. But we're going to go ahead and use black zip ties all the way up on these seams to make sure that they all stay even and that it's nice and straight. We're going to go ahead and line them up now. 5 panels up now. Now to put the 6th one. Number 6 is up there. Now to put up number 7, 2 more to go. So one of the things that I will tell you guys, in all of my studies about this particular design on this greenhouse, you know, there wasn't a lot of talk about the amount of pressure that these panels push out on the top of these walls. And so what I have found is, even though I've got them pretty stable on the bottoms, as soon as I put these panels up here, they started giving enough pressure that they're pushing out on the walls. And so you sort of get this bowing effect on the outside. And you can't see it right now because I fixed it. And I'm going to show you how I fixed it temporarily until I've completed this. Now, this does change our design a little bit. Originally, my thought process was that we were just going to have the greenhouse with the walls on the sides. But now that these cattle panels are pushing out on the walls a little bit, I am more inclined to give some support to the outer edges of the walls. And so I'm not going to tell you guys how I'm going to fix it. It's going to be a surprise for you guys. I'm going to add another feature to this greenhouse, to the design that's going to allow us to grow even more things on this greenhouse. And I think is going to look really awesome. So you guys will have to stay tuned with me to see what that design is. I'm not going to tell you yet, but you're going to like it. And it'll help us hold the sidewalls in, you know, during the life of this greenhouse, so that they're not bowing out on the side. I can't deal with that, guys. My OCD is just cranking. So anyway, let me show you guys real quick. So what was happening, guys, is as we're looking down the side of this wall here, this wall, I mean, it's not doing it as much now, but it was really bowing. It was coming way out here because of the pressure of these. Now, if you look at the bottom was pretty solid. The bottom was straight all the way across, not much of an issue, but I noticed that these top ones, because of this pressure of these panels, was pushing it out pretty good. So I've got an idea for a design on this outside that's going to help hold these side panels, but it's going to add a lot more feature to this greenhouse. So what I did temporarily, guys, is I went ahead and put some straps. Now, I didn't really need it on these end ones down here. You guys can see these end ones at the bottom here. I've got them secured in a corner. So I've got this board here holds them from moving this direction, and then I've got that board there that holds them from moving this direction. So they're pretty solid. I don't have to strap them. But these ones down here were bowing out pretty bad. And so what I did is I put a ratchet strap all the way across to them. And I went ahead and put a level. So I set a level on the side of these boards here to make sure that I wasn't cranking them too far. And then I cranked on this until this side and this other side were level. And that way it'll hold it in place while I'm putting all these panels up here, and until I can build the support structure to be able to hold these posts so they're not bending outward. I really think you guys are going to like the design that I've come up with for the outside, but again, like I said, you guys are going to have to stay tuned for that. That's going to be exciting. I think it's going to look amazing, and it's going to give us so much more opportunity to grow more things, and it'll look beautiful too. So anyway, guys, use you some ratchet straps to hold it in, just temporary, if you guys are following after this design. Now for that 7th panel. 7th one is up. One more panel, guys. And then we'll go through and I'll need to zip tie all these together. Let's get this last one on here. Yeah. All right, we've got all of the panels from one side all the way to the other side, guys. And now I just need to zip tie these last 4 that I just put on. Need to zip tie those and make sure that they're completely solid. Well, y'all, we've got the entire top on here, and got all 8 of the panels on. You can see we've got quite a bit of height here on this thing. I went ahead and walked through and zip tied all of these sections here that I was telling you guys about. Again, make sure you're using UV rated ties, guys. But I went ahead and zip tied every one of these things, and every joint basically has it. You can see all the way down. The next step that we'll do on our next video for the greenhouse is going to be putting in these end walls. So the plan is down here, I'm probably going to end up having some sort of a window system down here, just so that the air can ventilate out that other side. This side of the greenhouse here is going to have our door, and basically that door is going to go right here between the pomegranate and this rosemary. There's also going to be framed in a little section, and I'm going to have a giant air conditioner system. So it is an evap cooler. I don't necessarily believe that we'll be using the water portion of that. I'm probably just going to be using it as a fan out here, just to pull air into the greenhouse and then force it out the other side, just to remove heat and such in the summer. I will have on the windows on the opposite side one of those mechanical operated vent arm that will open up at a certain temperature and close down when it cools off. We'll probably have a couple of those in the greenhouse as well. So anyway, guys, I have held on to you long enough in this video. We got the top on it. That's awesome. Next step is, like I said, going to be the end walls. I'm super excited about it. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching with us. If you did enjoy the video, guys, if you would go ahead and give us a thumbs up on there. If you didn't like the video, like it anyway, click the thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you would, hit that subscribe button. We definitely appreciate you guys hitting the subscribe button so that you're able to see all of the future videos that we have. Hit that notification button as well, and it'll let you know when we do put out a new video. But if you know anybody that needs to build a greenhouse or is looking for designs, or they're trying to think about what they're going to do with their greenhouse, guys, hit that share button for us and get the word out there to everybody else. Appreciate you guys hanging with me today. I'm sure Tucker appreciates it as well. Love you guys. See you in the next one. Shalom under the dome.